And we're live. Greetings, friends. How are you? We're doing this pop-up stream, random pop-up stream, while we try to figure out settings and get Streamlabs to work for us. We have been absent without leave for a bit, and I apologize for that. Having difficulty with Streamlabs OBS, connecting with YouTube. I can't schedule a stream and get Streamlabs to handshake with it. What's that about? It's so yeah, I can't connect the two. Streamlabs keeps saying that my account is not enabled for live streaming. Obviously, we are live streaming here. The workaround that I have is I can do a pop-up random stream and get Streamlabs to connect to that. And the good news is, if we do that, we can try out the new capture card, which we have here. What time is it? So it's morning time, so we can just kind of walk around. So I don't know what we're going to do, really. It's live. And we're live. It's truly and sincerely live. Mike Darwin says, hi, Superantonio. Greetings, Mike. I might have difficulty following the chat because we're focusing on many things at once now. Completely different skill set. Commenting on your live stream while you're fooling around with your PS5. But we're connected. Sadie's here. Sadie says hi and like and subscribe. Lots happened. We got a new monitor. New 4K UHD monitor, and that was a pain to figure out the settings for that thing. We finished Batman Arkham Knight. We initiated the Nightfall protocol, and I've got Batman Arkham Knight skills, reflexes, so I don't really know what we're doing with Arthur now. I don't really remember the controls. I can only keep one game's controls in my head at the same time. That's just how my brain and functions figure. Mike says, what happened to the Hungarian half-bred? She's in the stable, but we need this horse for hunting. And channel member Dan Constantin Popescu is here. Greetings, Dan. How are you, my friend? Shout out to the UK. Hope you're doing well. We have a new capture card. That helps. Capture cards have really come a long way in like the 3 or 4 years since I last had one. They were really hard to get to work on Macs. You guys, they were really designed for PC users. Mama One and Papa One are here. Mama One says, hey, family. Everyone say hi to Mama One. And Papa One says, hey, gang. And Mama One says, hey, family. Yeah, but this one, which is just plug and play, was half price, Amazon Prime deal, $14.99. Papa One says, we have missed you, Super Antonio. Hope you're well, son. I am, Papa One. I just had lots of technical problems, and we had a Sadie problem that was very distracting, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. So we're just kind of figuring out how to stream, play the game, and interact with the chat at the same time. What's that about? So yeah, I know we got a capture card, super cheap, plug and play, no external power source. The last one I had was over $200. This one was $14.99, half price. But yeah, Sadie, poor little Sadie, she hurt her foot. She cut her foot right here in the webbing, and it scared me. There was blood. I cleaned her paws. I wiped down her paws after walks, and and I was wiping paws. It's and usually you get dirt and everything, but there was blood, and it scared me. You cannot imagine how far my stomach dropped. It was so scary, and but she has a very high pain threshold, and half pit bull, and she wasn't limping. She was standing on it. She let me clean it, and even if she were in pain, I don't think she would tell me. She'd have to be like seriously in pain, but she could walk on it. It wasn't causing her any distress. She wasn't, but was bleeding a lot. It really scared me. So kept it clean, slathered it in Neosporin, put a sock over her foot, and taped it up for the first day. And then I got her these little booties, which are super cute. Here, let's see if we can get closer on that. These little boot situations. And so that's what she's been wearing when we go outside, so that we can keep it clean. Because I was really worried about infection. But apart from that, she's fine. I was thinking about taking her to the vets. I called my vet tech friend, and we did a little video conference, and she took a look at the foot and told me what to do. The paw, I guess. So yeah, I was like dipping it. I had a coffee mug of warm soapy water that I was dipping her foot in. I was baptizing her foot. This is the opposite of Hercules. Hercules, as you recall, Hercules' mom held him by the ankle and dipped his whole body in the river Styx, I believe. But I just dipped her foot. And then, I'd wipe her foot down and slather it in Neosporin. And, but yeah, she's fine. She's walking on it fine. This was on Monday. And I was just like, I just dropped everything. All I wanted to do was take care of her. And, I didn't deal with the capture card or the new monitor or the Streamlabs settings. But just so you know, I can do pop-up streams. So I'll try to maintain the regular schedule, but it won't come up on your feed, unfortunately. You're not going to be, because it only works if we do random streams right now. What's that about? And Arthur, let's see, what can we do to get here? Hold on. Let's lock this screen. And then this up here, so we can see. I wanted to look at that buffalo. That bison. Hey, he's a 3-star. Hold on. I'll get to the chat in a second. Let's get this buffalo. Now he's a 1-star because we shot him in the butt. I apologize. Mike Darwin is finally done moving. Dan is all good. Back from his holidays. And Mom says, "Is my sweet Sadie okay?" Yes, she's okay. As far as I know, she's okay. She's not complaining. And she got used to wearing the boot really fast. I think we'll have the boot on for walks for a couple more days. And then she'll be fine. Mom says, "Are you going to start doing the gameplay live?" I don't know. I mean, is that something you're interested in? Just like walking around, riding around on the range. Let's shoot that bird. Where do you go? It's so much more difficult. We'll do a raid in a minute. Let me catch up on the chat. Papa One says, that happens sometimes, Super Antonio. I'm glad our Sadie girl is okay. Yeah, this has never happened before, honestly. 4 years. In 4 years, we've had digestive issues because there was a time when she would try anything like a toddler. But I've never seen blood, and that scared me like you can't imagine. The hot pavement can cause it too. It's happened to our farm dogs, and it can be worrying when you see blood. Super worrying. Tony S22 says, get well soon, Sadie. She's fine. She's under the desk now. And Mom One says, glad my Sadie's okay. Give my sweet girl extra cuddles from her grandmother. I missed you so much, Mom One. Dan says, wash her paw, then put some warm honey. It will help a lot. You're right. Honey is a great antiseptic. And she would have loved that. Papa One says honey and Vaseline can certainly help as well. I have used honey and Vaseline for horses when they get a foot injury. Yeah, I was, and we have honey, and she loves honey. Mom One says, I'm happy with either way you do the gameplay. Well, I have a lot to show you. I have a lot backed up. And this is hard. Okay, let's deal with these O'Driscolls. If I can remember how, I've got Batman Arkham Knight skills. Super annoying. And L1 means dismount or get off the Batmobile. And so this is going to be embarrassing. Okay, let's do our first routine camp inspection live. Yeah, we know how to spell it. Well, that was a lot less dramatic than I hoped. Sometimes we have some stragglers. We got to wait for the stragglers. Mom One says, I missed you, Super Antonio. It felt weird without seeing you the past weekend. You have no idea how much we have fun with the chat, and you have no idea how much fun I have. Me and Sadie. I keep arrowing down because that's important in Batman Arkham Knight. Mark says, my dog one time got diarrhea and I did not know. And then in the morning, I found poop all over my bed. It was one of the most horrible experiences. Yes, I can completely understand and sympathize, Mike. And this one has had diarrhea a bunch, especially when she was little, and she was pretty much putting anything in her mouth. Papa One says, sounds like a crap morning, Mike. And Papa One says, if you don't mind me asking, Super Antonio, why did YouTube make the live streaming thing so complicated? It's my own darn fault, Papa One. I was trying to fix the crashing issue. So I deleted and reloaded and reinstalled Streamlabs, the program I used to stream on. And it completely unlinked Streamlabs from my YouTube account. What's that about? But at any rate, this works. This seems to be working. And we've got a new, and the capture card. I don't know if this is interesting to you guys. I like to show you things, and we're not really showing you anything that you don't know about. Loot. Do we need the cash? How much cash do we have on us? We have almost $500. Dan says, my fog blew. She was on heat, and when I woke up the morning, my bedding was full of blood. That sounds... My dog blew. That sounds horrifying, Dan. And Mike Darwin says, sure was, Papa One. And Mom wants to see you can schedule lives again. I cannot. Right? Not right now. But just assume that I can... that I can live stream at the usual time. However, I cannot get Streamlabs to link with a scheduled stream. Streamlabs treats it like a random stream. However, I can't. So yeah, we have a workaround now, and at some point I'll figure it out. But you know, I thought we might as well just get up there with what we have. Pop One says, "Oh, I thought YouTube kicked you off from streaming. My mistake. I've never. You don't need to apologize. I kicked myself off while I tried to figure out the technical issues, and then we had the Sadie problems." Mom One says, "I am enjoying watching Super Antonio play through Red Dead Redemption 2 in his natural habitat." LOL. See, I just pressed L1 again. That's for that will get you in your Batmobile. I'm really good at Batman Arkham Knight now. And I'm horrible at RDR2. Everyone knows about the gold nugget. I always leave it. Leave it for John. Let's shoot that bird so you know it's live. There. Let's shoot that rabbit. No. We should practice animal conservation. Ducks. We do need some ducks. We need animal fat. Papa One says, back in the early 90s, one of our farm dogs was pregnant, so Mama One brought her inside. When it got time to have her pups, well, me and Dad had to get early for a horse competition, and Mama One had to be continued. Dan says, is a bottle on that tree for your health? There's a gold nugget in that bottle. Dan, it's $25. Just looking, we'll find some deer. We'll kind of work on the saddle or the satchel. We could get that for the poker table, the pronghorn. And no worries, that 3-star deer is only sleeping. Papa One continues, Mama One had went to bed, so we were unaware in the middle of the night. She had her puppies in our bathroom. I went to take a shower and slipped on the afterbirth and fell. Thank God all the pups were okay. Wow. All those babies. And Papa One says she only had 4, and they were fine. I, on the other hand, gave myself a goose egg on the head as I hit my head on the toilet after slipping. That's horrible, Papa One. I'm glad you're okay. Mike says, another thing that my dog did when I was cooking. I left the chicken on the table and it was raw. I looked away for 1 second and I looked back. And my dog had the chicken in his mouth. Yeah. You got to teach him to stay off the table and the counters. Dan says, well, I am going to sleep. It's an early morning here in the UK. All the best, everyone. Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate you checking in. And thanks for your channel membership. Couldn't do it without you, friend. Shout out to Dan Constantin Popescu. And Mom One says, Papa One was hollering, but then we got excited about the puppies. Fox. I don't like getting the foxes. Need some for camp upgrades. And we already have a buck. So this is a 4K UHD monitor. And we're still streaming in 1080p. However, the picture quality should be better for you. It should be sharper. Colors should be brighter. So tell me how you feel about the picture quality. Miko Herptile says, hello, Super Antonio, Sadie, mods, and everyone. Greetings, Miko. This is live. Here, I'll shoot that tree so you can, to prove that we're live. We have a capture card that we're trying out. Papa One says, when my son was about 4, he decided he wanted to save one of our rabbits we raised for food. He got a big white bunny out of the pen and decided to let it go free. Unfortunately for my son, a farm dog named Rango was hungry and caught the rabbit in less than 2 seconds. My son was horrified. Yeah, that's sad, but he learned a valuable lesson, a life lesson that day. Miko says, hello, Mike, Dan, Mama One, and Papa One. And Mama One says, hey, Miko. Miko Herptile. We got a buck. Oh, this is a pretty game. I do love this game. But, however, pound for pound, honestly, Batman Arkham Knight is a more robust game. There's more things to do. It's darker, obviously. But there's more to do in it, in that game. The plot is comparable. You know, it's a comic book, and this is a novel. Red Dead Redemption 2. So, you know, or let's say that Batman Arkham Knight is a graphic novel. But it's more dramatic, and there's a lot more to do in that game. I would call it more robust. But this is a beautiful game, and I love it, and it made the channel. Pop One says, Miko, glad you're here, my friend. Missed chatting these last few days. And Miko says, indeed, I did get a notification. I didn't get a notification. Good thing I checked manually. I appreciate it, Miko. We can't schedule streams right now. What's that about? I'm not sure why. It's a Streamlabs issue. And Flemish Patriot 2006 says, greetings from Belgium, Europe. Greetings, Flemish Patriot. Appreciate you, friend. Thanks for watching. Belgium. What do I know about Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg? I mean, apart from Hercule Poirot. Mom One says, I really don't care what you live stream, Super Antonio. I always enjoy watching. That being said, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still my favorite thing on the channel. And Mama One and Papa One say, hey, Flemish. Such a beautiful game. Let's go check out the bison herd. Bison herd, as you will recall, is above the... is right about here. Right about here, above the H of the heartlands. Flemish Patriot says hello. I'm glad you're a patriot. You should be proud of your country. And you have a fine culture. Mike says, I used to live in Colombia. It's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been in. That's good to know, Mike. Were you there for business? I wonder if that's the same 3-star buck. Mike says, was there for vacation. I knew a very attractive Colombian girl. I mean, she was from Colombia. I met her here in Saint Denis. And the odd thing was her name was Hilda. Hilda Gutierrez. And why would she have a German name, a German surname, and a Latin? What's that about? And she did have that kind of, you know, it's like she was like Anya Taylor-Joy. She looked very European, one might say, Aryan. Okay, excuse me a minute while I see if we can find us a bison. Boom! Right between the eyes. That bison had a headache, and we cured it with some lead aspirin. And no worries, that bison is only sleeping. Tony says, Red Dead Redemption 2 has ruined all other games for me. I just got the new college football, and 2 days later, I'm back on Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm currently obsessed with Batman Arkham Knight, Tony. I hesitate to say it's my new favorite game, but I will say I have a new appreciation for Batman as a character, and I can understand what the big deal is with him. And Papa one says, maybe your grandpa moved to Colombia after the war, Super Antonio. That's exactly what I think. Yeah, she was a nice lady. Miko says, I watched Roger Clark playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and he accidentally shot the brindle during the O'Driscoll ambush. And Papa one says, that hurts my soul, Miko. Yeah, I saw that he was playing. And I try not to watch other Red Dead Redemption 2 videos. Just because I want to keep my content unique to this channel. And I don't want to copy other people. Mike says, Colombia has a lot of descendants from Germany, Spain, and Africa. Yeah, they came there for the weather. And other reasons. Horses. What do we got? There's one over here, wasn't there? Some Kentucky Saddlers. We'll chase some horses. Tony says, I miss the viewer horse shows. Yes, we did that in the old days. Unfortunately, They don't do that well these days. People have moved on. Mom one says, I actually bought a brindle from the stables in Strawberries, the new playthrough I'm on. By purchased, I meant I used the wagon trick. I borrowed one. And Pop one says, nice weather and no extradition laws. What's not to love? Super Antonio. Let's try not to get political. However, it's been a very political week, if you ask me. Super annoying. I will say, speaking of a certain list, that I think they're playing 4D chess. There's two reasons. Well, one, I trust what he's doing. I trust it's for the good of the American people. Let me donate this, and then we'll talk about it, because yes. Come on. Here, you can have the steaks. Okay. There's three options. First one is there's some secret that is so evil, so horrifying, so destructive that it cannot be revealed. And it's for the good of the country and perhaps the world that it is not revealed. I don't believe that, but I like the idea, if we lived in a Lovecraftian world. Second, the second option is that he's on the list. However, if he was on the list, he would have, in any substantial way, it would have been revealed in 2016. It would have been revealed as soon as Epstein was arrested. He would have pulled out that card. It's like before Prince Andrew, nobody outside of the UK really knew who Prince Andrew was. And he seemed to have been sacrificed to appease everyone, hopefully on, it's like, the people in power. But before Prince Andrew, they would have gotten him. They had 4 years to get him, and they did everything except access this list or this file. And then the third option, which I believe is what's happening, is he's playing 4D chess, because he's gotten the left and the media to demand that let's eat some stew, to demand that these files get released. So he's going to say, okay, he's going to hold his hands up and he's okay, let's show you what we got. So that's what I think's happening. Then the Wall Street Journal drops a patently obvious fake letter, which is just embarrassing. So he's going to sue them. Mom one says, I was using the silver Dapple Pinto and still have her as well. I have Biscuit on 3 playthrough saves. Well done, Mama One. I've got two monitors now, and I could transfer over the Biscuit files to the PS5, but I was too distracted by poor Sadie. Cloudy's here. Greetings, Cloudy. Everybody say hi to Cloudy. Pop one says, I wonder if the list even exists. Like, would he really write all that stuff down? I don't think it's a list as much as a bunch of files, Papa One. And I think a lot of them were lost or misplaced since 2016. Pop One says, or at least in the 2024 race, all billionaires know each other. It's one of those things like celebrities hang out with celebrities, or in my case, most of my friends were horse industry people. Yeah, but you're not putting on masks and going to islands and sacrificing babies to Moloch, Papa One. I don't think they are either. But I like, that's one of the conspiracies that I like, and I apologize. Mr. Matty says, been a while since your last stream. Hope you're well. We were having technical difficulties, Mr. Matty. However, we are live now with a capture card. What can we do? I will antagonize Mr. Pearson to prove that we're live. I need serious. Okay, let's. Yes, it's very. Let's bother Kieran. Oh, we can't without triggering the. I don't want to get him off that tree yet. Let's say hi to Abigail. What is she doing? Oh, she's darning a sock. Not much light. Don't make it weird, Arthur. We were just kind of trying to see what you're doing. Miko says, hey, Cloudy. Mama one says, we had rapid stew with cornbread and my homemade peanut butter cake for dessert. That sounds delicious, Mama one. Cloudy says, is this a live playthrough? It is, Cloudy. We have a new capture card. Mr. Matty says, oh, we got that one. Miko says, hi, Cloudy. Hey, Cloudy. So does Flemish Patriot. Miko says, hey, Mr. Matty. Here, let's turn Arthur to the camera. Mike says, hi, Cloudy. And Mama one and Papa one says, hey, Cloudy. Papa one says, that's true, Super Antonio. Whatever it was they were doing, I imagine it's not good. Eyes wide shut. Got my green tea. Hold on. Just checking here, checking the stream. Got 15 people in the chat. Welcome, friends. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you being here. What's going on? Who's singing? Uncle's loafing about.
Hey, Arthur, what you want? One sour son of a bitch, ain't you? Only when I see you. Only when I see you.
Let's go get a badge.
Hello, Arthur.
Okay, we'll say hi to Dutch.
So, a feller in town.
We'll get a badger and a raccoon. Pop One says, Superintendent, the thoroughbred had a vet visit today along with some of our other horses. The vet says he is healthy and a fine specimen. So is Arthur the foal. Both are growing well and doctor approved. That's good news, Papa One. Approved them for competition. They are going to compete. Mr. Matty says, do you have the panther saddle yet, or do you use the snake saddle? I like the snake saddle, but we're using an alligator one right now. I don't like getting the rattlesnake vaquero saddle until we have the Legend of the East satchel, because you can only collect 5 snake skins at a time, and I won all 10. Let's use the Springfield. Yeah, I called my vet tech friend. We did a little video conference. She diagnosed Sadie on the spot. Said she wasn't in pain. She wasn't uncomfortable. Told me what to do. And she didn't charge me anything, which was really nice of her. She likes me. She likes Sadie. But I don't like her. She has a sketchy lifestyle that I don't like. Even though I'm happy to take advantage of it. So I don't like her friends. And I try. Let's get that robin. I try to limit the drama in my life, and I think she would add a lot of drama. Cloudy says, it's nice to see some Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay. I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2 in a month. I've been playing lots of Star Wars Battlefront 2. My friend, have been playing a lot of Batman Arkham Knight. We initiated the Nightfall Protocol, and I just started my New Game Plus playthrough today. And Pop wants to Super Antonio, the Brindle Thoroughbred is not for sale. He heard we had a brindle and wanted to buy him. I refused instantly. And Miko says, oh, I hope Sadie gets well soon. She's basically healed. Miko, she hurt her foot. She cut right around here. She cut the webbing. Cloudy says, is she a live by the edge type of girl? Yeah. And I think Cloudy, she just has a lot of sketchy friends. And I don't know what that says about me. I'm one of the most legit civilian friends she has. And I'm sure, I am absolutely certain that she indulges in lots and lots of special medicines, which I don't do at all. I mean, my drug of choice is ice cream and pizza. It wasn't always that way. I had a wicked youth, but it's that way now. Oh yeah, we're going for raccoons. John Shaggy Rupus. I can't tell if that's a laughing or crying emoticon, John, but greetings. Mumlet says, you don't need drama, Super Antonio. Sadie already has a tough time keeping the ladies off of you. Sadie doesn't want the drama, lol. Yes, she certainly doesn't, Mama One. We like living a quiet life. You know, we just want to play video games, make videos, take walks. Mr. Maddie says, I've been watching lots of DC films lately. 4 DC films in just 1 month. And Miko says, hey, John. The last I watched, what did I watch? Somebody's hungry. I watched the anime Batman set in Japan, in feudal Japan. I loved it. Have an apple. And Mike says, Super Antonio, have you watched the new Superman movie? No. I've heard mixed things about it. James Gunn, I don't know how I feel about him. I mean, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I just don't feel he's respectful of Superman as a character. And really, I haven't liked any incarnation of Superman since Christopher Reeve. He's not fighting for truth, justice, in the American way. He's fighting for truth, justice, in the human way. What the heck is that? He's wearing red, white, and blue. And that whole thing that, where James Gunn was saying that he's an immigrant and it's a story of an immigrant, it's like, why get political? Superman was never political. Well, I take that back. Superman fought on the side of the good, and he did take on the KKK. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. Have you seen it? Mr. Matty says, I watched Mask of the Phantasm, The Batman, Superman 1978, and the new one. Yeah. Great theme song from Superman 1978. John Williams, Star Wars. Pop One says, we all had wicked youth, Super Antonio. I used to drink a lot. My dad loved drinking. I quit on the hard liquor after my dad passed, but I just drink beer and eat Mama One's cooking now. Sometimes the occasional cigar, mainly when my son is around. Let's get some light on the situation there. Cloudy says, my new Superman is Homelander. What was the name of that girl? Stormfront. I really liked Stormfront. I know you're not supposed to like Stormfront, but I liked that character. I don't know how I feel about The Boys. I think I feel The Boys is too naughty. I don't need to see all of that. I feel that mainstream media, like mainstream TV and movies is trying to compete with OnlyFans and that hub that rhymes with corn, but it's not corn. Hey, guess who loves corn and has 4 paws? My sister brought me a bunch of corn on the cob. What's that about? But so I microwaved it, Mama One. But you can't. This one loved it so much she was drooling on my foot. So yeah, I think mainstream movies and TVs feel they need to compete with Instagram and the internet, and so they've been pushing the envelope on explicit content, and I think they've pushed it too far, especially in The Boys. And it's super annoying. Even though I love the female form, I love naked ladies. What's not to love? Sorry, Sadie. Sorry, Mama One. But you don't have to see it constantly in your entertainment. I really don't feel that. Mr. Matty says John Williams is fantastic, and Mike says I do think Batman is better than Superman. I think they portray Batman better. I mean, the gritty darkness suits that character way more than Superman. Superman has to be light. Superman has to be idealistic. What does this Joker want?
You gotta help me out here, mister. Can you? Please.
Okay, I don't know if we'll be able to do this. We'll try. We've got Batman Arkham Knight skills. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, mister. Yeah, we can't do it right now. Pop One says, stresses for young men. I've always been lucky that I was blessed with Mama One. I had a friend back in the day who was on his 5th marriage at 40, and that marriage was about to end. I had to finally tell him to stop. Marriage is apparently not for you. Ha ha. And Mike says, Mr. Matty, you're right. The Superman movie was good. Mom One says, our farm dogs love vegetables. One of them is currently eating veggies right from my garden. I haven't found the culprit yet, but I will. I think it's Trigger. He ate his squash from the vine once. And Papa One says, you could have just told him no, Super Antonio. Well, I wanted a little drama. Mike says, you're definitely right, Super Antonio. It's always annoying to have inappropriate content always playing when you're only trying to relax. Yeah, and enjoy the story. You know, it's distracting, and it makes, you know, it's already made it less special, but now it's, I mean, if it's important to the story, or even not important to the story, but, you know, it's like, I just, gratuitous is the word I'm looking for. It's gratuitous now, and they just feel that it's necessary to keep the viewer's attention, and it's not at all. Mr. Maddie said, I said ouch because of that prisoner. Yeah, I apologize. I have Batman Arkham Knight reflexes. I can only keep one game in my head and in my fingers at a time. It's super annoying. Did we get him? We did not. Where'd he go? Cloudy says maybe you can do a live playthrough of Silent Hill in October. Well, I'll be better at live streaming and playing at the same time, so maybe. What do we get? Perfect raccoon pelt. Well done, Arthur. Papa One says, imagine if that inmate gets caught again, and when he gets back to prison, he tells them getting caught was now the second worst thing that happened during his escape after he's seen Super Antonio and his Batman skills. Well, the thing is, we've gotten really good at Batman Arkham Knight. That's how I distracted myself from Sadie's injury. Was just I threw myself into Batman Arkham Knight, finished the game, started a new game plus. Hey, mister. Silent Hill. I had $5 left in my my PlayStation account, so I bought Mad Max. It's just sitting on my hard drive, or the PS5 hard drive. It was on sale for $4.99, so I have a penny left. But Pop One says, will you be streaming Saturday and Sunday? Mr. Maddie says, maybe we'll spot the ghost train. I could go back and look for it, but I wanted to drop off this raccoon pelt. Papa One, yes. However, you will not get a notification because we have to go live at the exact moment that we're going to go live. We can't schedule streams right now. What's that about? Or I can't figure out how to schedule streams right now. Let's put it that way. $16 viewers in the chat. Everybody loves Free Roam Fridays. What's not to love? Sometimes I like parking the horse here with all of his other horse friends. All of her other horse friends. I forgive me, I misgendered the horse. This is for you, Cloudy. Okay, that was the OnlyFans content. Well, there's Molly. Are we allowed to say OnlyFans? I said it. I apologize, algorithm. Mom One says, we are going to watch the remake of Papillon with Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy and Rami Malek from The Pacific. I've seen the Steve McQueen one.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what you can turn that into. Thank you, Arthur.
And Pop One says, I hear the Papillon remake is good. So we bought it on YouTube. The original is one of my favorite movies. Steve McQueen, The Essence of Cool. And Mike says, Super Antonio, have you ever played Five Nights at Freddy's? No, I've never even heard of that. There's Five Nights? Got my green tea. Let's sleep a bit. I'm enjoying Jack in his nightgown. Mike says it is a horror game. Is there a movie with Nicolas Cage? Because I've heard that title before. I watched Night of the Demons. There's one from 1988 and a remake from 2008. There's lots of gratuitous bath lady situations in the 2008 one. Well, in the 1988 one. But it works because it's a horror movie and it's just that kind of... It's, it's explicit, but it's not like gratuitously horrifying. This is a new outfit for Dutch. This is completely new. Chat, have you seen this before? This is worth making a short.
Feels like we're back on track, more or less. Yep, money and food. Now everyone the show.
I've never seen Dutch in this outfit.
All right, well, I should be getting on. Okay.
We're making a short out of that. Well, actually, are we? Yeah, we are. Watch this. There. We just recorded the last the last 59 minutes. So we just recorded this whole stream. See, we can go to Media Gallery. Look at that. I can show you my let's go to... So there's a PS4. We only have 8 hours on Red Dead Redemption 2. I just got this game. We've only played it for 8 hours. What's that about? And there's Batman. I played for 2 minutes. I just opened it up. I just tested the settings. The Last of Us has 28 hours. I was going to delete that. Share Factory. We don't need to use that. I think Serena uses Share Factory. And then Mad Max, which we have not played at all. At any rate, that's about all I have for you tonight. Wanted to stream for about an hour. Actually, no, we can go about a little bit longer. Hup, hup. Mama says it's Dutch's nighttime outfit. And Mr. Matty says it reminds me of his Red Dead 1 outfit. Papa says Arthur, a dedicated rifleman, if he's willing to sleep with his rifles on his back like that. This is my rifle. There are other rifles, but this is mine. Mom says it's Dutch's nighttime outfit. Sorry, read that. Mr. Matty says reminds me of his Red Dead 1 outfit. And that's what Mike says. Okay, that might be the title. Mike and Mr. Matty. 99% of players missed Dutch's out wearing his Red Dead 1 outfit or something like that. I don't know. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. Papa One says it is close to the same outfit. Maybe the same shirt, Mr. Matty. Mr. Matty says in Red Dead, his shirt is orange. Someone likes chewing in my ear. Cloudy says you will love Mad Max. Okay, Cloudy, I trust you. Papa One says get Arthur a deluxe bath since it's been a while. Okay, fine. I will listen to the chat. Let's do it. We can afford it. It's only 50 cents. I hope the horse won't be embarrassed. That's part of the fun of doing a live playthrough is you guys control the stream. I just kind of I go where you guys tell me. Pop One says, Arthur's a man of luxury. And Cloudy says, if you have the pirate hat on, Dutch would make fun of you. Yeah, I used to love, what's the sheriff hat? What's that one called? The Nevada hat? I used to love that hat. And, but I hated how very early playthroughs before the Civil War Hardy hat, I would get the Nevada hat, but I hated how the camp would make fun of you wearing that hat. Mr. Maddie says you should get the Valentine doctor's office Schofield while in town. We'll do that next week, Mr. Maddie. I'll stop after the... I will stop after the deluxe bath. We'll use that to end the stream. And then we'll pick up next week exactly where we left off. I literally will not touch this playthrough until we get to next week. And we'll do it live. Oh, we gotta deal with these jokers. I didn't necessarily want to do that. That was Batman reflexes. When you do that, you shoot out batarangs, or you toss batarangs, and then they go down. They get stunned. Batman has a code. Batman does not kill, and I appreciate that. But that's one of the only reasons. That's one of the only times that the Batman reflexes worked out. Let's see. I hope Arthur gets one of the prettier ones. Miko, we'll check. We'll see.
It's you. Yes, it is. Last time I checked. I really don't need any more trouble. I didn't come to make any.
I was just protecting the lady. Papa One says, get the Schofield, but don't take the money, so you can go back and get a second Schofield free. Okay, Papa One. Mom One says, I always hate when I'm going to Valentine for a reason, and O'Driscolls are there. I'm like, great, now I'm going to be wanted. I'm surprised we didn't get wanted. The Abbey of the Everyman says, where is your dog? Where is Brian the dog? She's right here, Abby. And come here. Hup, hup. Hey, come here. And her name is Sadie. Papa One says, hey, Cruz. And Mom One says, hey, Cruz. Cruz says, hi, Super Antonio, Sadie, and every greetings, Cruz.
Would you like someone to take over for you?
Yes, please. Cloudy says, Super Antonio, do you think Princess Isabeau is alive and yet to be found? Yes, she's in the game files. She's in Valentine. There you go, Miko. There is the OnlyFans content. Cloudy, Abby says, I love her and I love you. We love you as well, Abby, and I appreciate you being here. And Sadie says, like and subscribe. The Abby says, instant like and subscribe. Appreciate you, friend. Cruz says, the homeless veteran always annoys me at Valentine. LOL. And Kine says, yo, man, I'm about to sleep, but I just had to drop some love from Iran. Appreciate you being here, friend. We're actually live tonight.
Let's just keep that between us and these
Mike says, haha, look at Sadie. She was smirking. Yeah.
You seem nice.
You seem nice.
You are making me blush, you.
Cruz says, Habibi Kain. GN. Miko says, what's Sadie looking at? She's looking at her little booty because she thinks we're going to go walk. This is the boot I was making her wear so her foot wouldn't get infected. Abby says, hi, Miko. And their big boss, I remember you, says, hey, I'm back. Do you guys still know me? I liked your username, as I recall.
All right, I think that should do it.
It was a pleasure.
That was, well, we're all clean now. Mom wants a Super Antonio needs to get Sadie a boyfriend. Name him Brian. And Papa wants says, glad you're back, big boss. And Miko says, hello, big boss. Okay, we'll end here. Exactly here. Mark my words, friends. We will pick up exactly here next week. Appreciate you being here. We will. The streams are back, Mama One. We just have to do them kind of like randomly pop-up streams at the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. Shout out to the mods, Mama One and Miko and Papa One and what else? Shout out to the channel members. Great talking to you. I missed all of you. Tomorrow night we're either going to do Batman Arkham Knight or The Last of Us. I haven't decided. Maybe Batman Arkham Knight, just because it's been on my mind so much, and I want to talk about it. Thank you, friends. Appreciate you being here. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. See you soon, friends.